Hey everyone, it's Lisa Mears here. Thanks for joining me today. In this video, I'm going to show you the secret to achieving clean, crisp edges when using black cardstock by using Scrapbook.com's brand new black foam adhesive. If you ever worked with black cardstock, you know how tricky it can be to get those clean, crisp edges when using traditional white foam. Well, the new black foam adhesive from Scrapbook.com is a total game changer, giving you those perfect seamless lines for your projects. I'll also be using the Thank You Shaker Tag die set, which is currently a freebie as part of Scrapbook.com's SBC Fest, which is happening today, March 14th. SBC Fest kicks off today at 8 a.m. Pacific Time, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, and it's packed with amazing virtual classes. Be sure to grab your free die set while it's available, and I'll leave a link in the description box below where you can get yours and also where you can watch SBC Fest. Alright, so let's take a look at these brand new black foam adhesive rolls from Scrapbook.com. These were just released, and I previously showed these in my recent unboxing video, and if you missed that video, I will link it here at the top right corner of this video. But these three rolls that I have here in my hand are the 1/4 inch black adhesive rolls. There are three of them because they're actually three different thicknesses. So depending on how much dimension you want for your project, there are three different sizes to choose from. So I'm gonna just undo these real quick just so that you can see the difference. They come in a 1 millimeter, which is the smallest thickness. Then there's the 2 millimeter, which is the original thickness, and then there's the 3 millimeter, which is the thickest of them all. So I'm going to just show you all three real quick. So this first one, or the top one, is the 1 millimeter. You can see the smaller thickness there. The middle one is the 2 millimeter, and then the one at the very bottom is the 3 millimeter. So depending on how much height you want for your project, if you're trying to lift up some die cuts off of your cardstock, you can then just select the one that you want depending on how high you want your die cuts to be. Okay, so moving on, there's another three rolls, and these you can see are much wider than the initial ones. These are 1 inch wide with the three different thicknesses. So this first one here is the 1 millimeter, it's the smallest, and then you have the 2 millimeter, and then this one here is the thickest of them all, the 3 millimeter. So these are all, again, the same thickness as the previous ones I showed you. The only difference is they are wider. These are 1 inch wide, and then the first ones I showed you were 1/4 inch wide. So those are the foam adhesive rolls, and I also want to stress that they are double-sided adhesive. Okay, so moving on, we have the foam strips. These are my favorite, and I always use these all the time in white. So if you're ever watching my videos, these are my go-to. These come in a large pack with several strips on them. And again, these also come in the various thicknesses, the 1 millimeter, the 2 millimeter, and the 3 millimeter. This is the thickest of them all. The one I'm showing you here is the 3 millimeter, but you have all of these strips. They are easy to bend, so if you're doing shaker cards and you need to come around different curves of your die cuts, they bend easily, and you can also tear them easily. So again, all of these adhesive rolls and these strips, they come in white as well, but these black ones are brand new to Scrapbook.com, and they are perfect when you're using black cardstock because, as you'll see in my video today, they provide a very seamless transition between your die cuts and the foam and your black cardstock. So here are the three sheets of the different foam strips in the black. The one on the bottom is the 1 millimeter, the one in the middle is the 2 millimeter, and then the one on the top is the 3 millimeter in thickness. You can get these individually, or you can even get them in a variety pack. So if you wanted to get one of each size, there is a variety pack which is available. I will have links to all of these down in the description box below. And then last but not least, there are the foam sheets. These are solid sheets of foam. You can cut these up with your scissors, or if you needed to take a large die and die cut these, you can. They are double-sided adhesive. They come in, again, the 1mm, the 2mm, and the 3mm. And these measure 4¼ by 5½ inches, so they are the perfect size for an entire A2 size card front. And again, these also come in white. In my last video, I also showed you the brand new shimmer flakes that are new to scrapbook.com, and I made 3 cards with them, and I showed you 3 different techniques that you can use with the shimmer flakes on your cards. Again, if you missed that video, you can watch it. I'll have the link down in the description box below. But in today's video, I will be working with them again to make my shaker tag, and I'll be using 3 of the colors. There are a total of 10 colors. I'll be using 3, the Reputation, which is the black, the Confetti, which is the pink one, and then this is the Pot of Gold, which is the gold shimmer flakes. And these are so pretty and sparkly, and they just add that touch of shine and shimmer to your projects. Okay, let's go ahead and make this tag. So I have already cut out the cardstock that I'm using. The black cardstock is the mixed media black cardstock from scrapbook.com. I love it because it's super thick. So I die cut the black cardstock with the 2 large tag dies, and this first one, it does cut the center out. And that way you have that frame, so you can make this a shaker if you wanted to. You don't have to use this as a shaker. You can just use the solid die to die cut a piece of cardstock, and you can use that as your tag without cutting out the center. I'm also going to be bringing in this vintage paper pad. This is also a new one for scrapbook.com. It's so pretty. There's all kinds of beautiful designs on here, and I love the hint of pink that comes through on some of these papers. Those flowers on there with the leaves are so pretty, and I love all of those little words. It's just such an elegant paper pad. So I thought this would match really well with the black cardstock. So I'm going to use this sheet here, and I'm going to take this die that has the center cut out, and I'm going to die cut this piece of pattern paper because I want to get the center rectangle cut out of there so that I can use that for the background of my shaker tag. I'm not going to use that top piece because my shaker tag is going to be black on the top. I just wanted that rectangle in the middle to be used for the background of my tag. So to make sure I have this pattern paper lined up exactly where I want it, I'm going to go ahead and place the 2 black tag pieces together. So I'm just lining them up, making sure they're even, and then I'm just going to take a piece of mint tape and just hold that down so that it doesn't move. And then I'm going to put some glue on the back of my rectangle piece of pattern paper, and I'm just going to place it right inside of the opening of that top tag piece. Now since these aren't connected, I can just then lift up and remove that top tag, and now I have that pattern paper already glued down to the background. Next, I'm going to take the tag that has the opening cut out, and I have it flipped over so I'm looking at the back side, and I'm adding glue just around the edge of that open rectangle. And then I have a piece of acetate that I cut down to size so that it is slightly larger than that opening, and I just placed it on top of the opening, and I'm going to use an acrylic block to hold that down until that glue dries. Next, I need to add foam, so I'm going to use the black foam strips. These are the perfect size for adding to this tag. I just need to decide how high I want this top layer of my tag to be, and it really just depends on how many shaker pieces or how thick the shaker pieces are that you add to the tag. So if my shaker pieces are really thin or flat, I can use the 1 mm strips, but if my shaker pieces are a little bit thicker, I might want to use a thicker foam strip. For example, if I had clay confetti, the clay confetti is much thicker, or if I had maybe some pearls that are round and they are thicker, I might want to use one of the thicker foam strips just so that I can add more height to the top layer of my shaker, and that would give them more room to shake around inside of this tag. I usually tend to use either the 2 mm or the 3 mm in thickness for my foam strips when I'm making shakers, just because I like to have the shaker pieces inside. I like them to have room to move around inside of the shaker. So I am using, I think, the 3 mm here, and I'm just outlining the edges of this frame. You want to make sure that all of the corners are connected because you don't want your shaker pieces to fall out of any open sections that are not connected by foam. So make sure the foam is touching on both sides. I do want to point out, notice that it's so easy to tear these. I can just tear these with my fingers very easily, and I don't even need to use scissors. I mean, I can come in here and use scissors if I wanted to, but there's really no need to because they do tear easily. So I'm just making sure that I do have the foam adhesive on the entire back side. I'm even adding a few rows of the foam strips up at the top of the tag because I want this to be able to lay flat on the bottom layer when I'm finished. There is a strip of foam on the right side of this tag. You just can't see it very well because the adhesive backing I did end up peeling off. But it is there and the whole thing is covered in foam. Okay, so now I'm ready to add my shaker pieces inside. I already removed the adhesive backing from all of that foam. I went ahead and added the confetti pink shimmer flakes inside of the open section on the back side of this frame, and now I'm adding the pot of gold and the Reputation shaker flakes, which is the Reputation is the black. And I love how these add so much sparkle. They have that iridescent kind of look where the color changes when you view it from different angles, which is so pretty. So I'm just kind of spreading out these shimmer flakes throughout this open section, and if any of the shimmer flakes get on that adhesive, you are going to want to remove them because if you don't, it's going to be difficult for you to seal this with the bottom part of the shaker. So now that I'm finished adding all of the shimmer flakes, I'm going to take the bottom part of that shaker. I'm just going to flip it over and line it up with the edges of the first tag. And I'm just going to press that down and make sure everything is sealed in nicely. I think that's so pretty, but I might have added a little too much because you can't really see any of that pattern paper that was in the background, but that's okay. All of those shimmer flakes are so gorgeous. So next I'm going to use the 1-inch roll, the black foam adhesive. This is the 1 mm, and I'm putting it on a piece of cardstock. So I took off the adhesive backing on one side and added it to a piece of the black cardstock. I'm just going to cut off the excess black cardstock here. And then with the cardstock facing up, I'm going to take my Thank You shadow die. This comes with the tag die. And I'm going to die cut this. And I've just created a shadow die cut piece that has some dimension to it. So traditionally, I probably would have taken that shadow die and die cut several pieces of black cardstock if I wanted to pop it up on my tag, or if I had a card, if I wanted to pop it up on that. But here I don't have to. I can just take this black foam adhesive, add it to cardstock, die cut it out with the shadow die, and now it already has that dimension on there. I went ahead and removed the adhesive backing on the back side, and I attached the Thank You shadow to the center of my tag. I also die cut the words thank you out of some pink cardstock, and I'm just gluing those right on to the shadow layer. So I'll go ahead and hold this up just so you can see all of that dimension. And I love the clean lines that that black adhesive foam gives to this tag. This tag also has a butterfly die, which I die cut out of that pattern paper, also part of the vintage paper pad. And for the shadow, I'm taking one of the black foam sheets and I'm just cutting it to size. I'm going to go ahead and run that through my die cutting machine. I'm going to peel back the top layer of that butterfly, and then I'm going to add a butterfly that I cut out of the black cardstock. So I'm just going to line it up with the foam. And then I'm going to take the butterfly die with the pink cardstock and I'm going to add that to the top. So this butterfly will be able to be raised up on this tag because I used that foam. It gives some nice dimension. I also die cut a second butterfly and I'm just going to glue the center down on the butterfly that has the foam, and I'm going to pull the wings up because I want those to add more dimension by just popping those up on the sides. So look at all that depth. I'm going to go ahead and peel back the backing of the butterfly that has the foam and add it to the tag. I added the circle die cuts on the front and back of the tag around the circle opening. I'm adding some gold glitter pops of color to the center of the butterfly. That will have to dry. And just a note, this should be the last thing that you do because it will have to dry and you don't want to handle your tag when it is still wet. I also added some pink twine through the hole on the top. But now this tag is finished and you can see when I turn it on the side, all of those smooth lines, and using all of that black foam, it doesn't distract from the actual tag itself with the black cardstock. I mean, traditionally, if I were to make a tag like this and I wanted to use black cardstock, I would have had to use white foam strips because that's all I've had in my stash. And the white foam strips would have taken away from the whole look of this tag. But now with the black foam strips, it provides a nice seamless design. So I hope you enjoyed seeing how to create a shaker tag using the black foam adhesive and the thank you shaker tag dice set. Don't forget to grab your free die set while it's available. I will have links to all the products I used today in the description box below. And if you love this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, you can leave them below. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you'll never miss out on more crafty fun. Thanks for watching and have a great day. Bye-bye.